When I started this journey up in Alaska, I never would have imagined I'd spend this long in Mexico. But there's just something about this country that seems to make every bikepacker fall in love with it. Maybe it's the amazing food or the big smiles on the faces of the locals.
Alaska!
Sí, de Alaska. Mucho gusto.
Sí!
Or it could be the seemingly endless supply of dirt riding and stunning landscapes. It's a country where if you arrive with an open mind and an open heart, you'll be welcomed in like you're one of their own.
You can stay on my room.
As much as I'd love to spend a lifetime just exploring this wonderful part of the world, after 8 months in Mexico, it was now time to make my way to the Guatemalan border and begin a new chapter of my adventure. So after spending some time in Oaxaca City, waiting out the last few weeks of the rainy season and the hurricane that had been ravaging the coast, I decided to ride up into the mountains that I'd been staring at for weeks. My favourite days on the bike are always the first one after a long time of rest. Unfortunately, thanks to an unbelievably steep road, more of my first day back was spent hiking than on the pedals. Nevertheless, I was just happy to see the sky changing colours once again, and to be back sleeping amongst nature. So I'm now up in the Sierra Norte, which is one of the few parts of Oaxaca I'm yet to explore. And it's going to be my home for the next couple of weeks as I make my way to Veracruz. And today I'm just going to wait a little bit for it to warm up as it's quite cold right now, and then I've probably got another hour of hiker bike to do. Now that I was well and truly up in the Sierra Norte, it was time to reap the rewards of all my hard work.
Interesting.
With the chaos of the single track out the way, my next goal was to ride to a lake I'd heard about high up in the mountains. Well, this is the spot I've been trying to get to for the last 4 days, and I think it was definitely worth it. It's been such an incredible place to spend the night. It's been so unbelievably peaceful here. All I can hear is the sound of the birds singing and the stream flowing past my tent. And now today I think is going to be my final day riding through the pine forests.
Excuse me, buddy. Thank you very much.
Hola, burro. No. No, they're mine. Psh, psh, psh. Get out of here! Get out of here! Oh, I don't like that. I've been terrorizing cows this entire trip. Maybe I'm about to get some payback. Go! Get out of here! Get out of here! Don't look at me like that. Don't you look at me like that. Get out of here. Go on, keep walking. I escaped with all my biscuits. Hola, buenas tardes. Go. It's all right, Mama. Perito. After starting my day up in the cloud forest of the Sierra Norte, I got to enjoy descending over 6,000 feet. And with this came a wild change of scenery. Just a couple of days ago I was camping amongst the pine trees, and now I'm camping in the jungle amongst the coffee plants. Not only that, but it is much, much hotter down here. It's an exciting change, but I think it's going to be quite a challenge. So I've got a bit of a problem. See, the rainy season here in Mexico was meant to be over, but I've just had a look at the forecast and there is a huge day of rain coming. Like, more rain than I've ever seen in my life. It's even raining now just a tiny bit. And I'm now entering a fairly remote section of this route, which means the next 3 days I need to turn some pedals and get some serious miles done to get to a town with a hotel before the rain comes.
Alaska.
Sí, de Alaska. Mucho gusto.
Sí, y aquí vas a estar, acá hay fiesta.
Oh, sí, en fiesta.
Fiesta.
¿Por qué?
El patrón.
Ah, sí.
Sí.
Ah, bueno.
Sí,
Bueno.
sí.
Que lo vaya bien. Oh, wow. That is something special. Wow. Yesterday ended up being a record day for elevation gain. I think I did over 6,500 feet of climbing by the end of it. It's amazing what the threat of a storm can do to your motivation. And now I'm pretty confident I'll make it to a hotel in time before the rain comes, which means now I get to just enjoy riding through this beautiful part of Mexico. Bit of rain this morning already. Beautiful. Back in the clouds. So this morning, all within the space of about an hour, my phone cable stopped working, so I now have no charge on my phone. I then got caught out in the rain and got absolutely soaked. Then my front brake cable snapped, and to top it all off, my glasses have also broken. But I got myself to the next town, I managed to dry off, make a temporary fix for my brake cable, and I've got myself a couple of steep and very big climbs closer to somewhere I can solve all of these problems, and also to where I need to get to tomorrow to avoid the rain. So those are the facts I'm going to focus on. It definitely feels like a storm is brewing today. Alright, 35 miles and 5,000 feet of climbing to the nearest hotel. I'm gonna make it, but if I don't, I get to experience what 120 millimeters of rain feels like when you're in a tent, which would not be fun. That's not ideal. Hopefully there's no more landslides. Can't take many more delays like that. There it is, the town. Abuela. Well, this feels like a very fitting way to end my time in Oaxaca. I'm so glad that I made it here yesterday, because if I was still out in the mountains right now, this would not have been a fun day at all.
I soon learned that the rain was from a cyclone that was ravaging eastern Mexico. But the worst of the rain passed, and I was able to set out to cross into a new Mexican state.
Veracruz, here we go.
The first few days post-cyclone in Veracruz were wet and muddy, and not ones to remember. Well, aside from the added adventure of hitchhiking in a lancha across a flooded road, and carrying my bike through chest-deep waters. But as it turns out, I'd remember Veracruz as the friendliest place I've ever cycled through. Me gusta tu perrito. Very cute.
Se llama Rocky.
Rocky.
Bye. Hello. 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 Hello, pero. Buenos días, perrito. Buenos días.
English. He can learn to speak English because he's
Joe, Nel, we speak.
Can I try the armadillo?
yeah.
What part's best?
One, ¿Te va a querer un pedazo?
just ate armadillo. Wasn't expecting that at all today. It was kind of nice, tasted a bit like chicken really. Pero.
Well, last night I ended up riding in the dark for about an hour because everywhere along this road is just private property and ranches. But I did eventually come across this ranch here with someone outside, and I asked him if there was somewhere I could pitch my tent, and he went one step further and gave me this church to sleep in, which is very much appreciated as it's been raining all morning. From being invited to stay in people's homes to exotic roadside meets, the people of Veracruz made me feel so incredibly welcome. However, a short but very sweet time in the state had to come to an end.
I'm now in Chiapas, which will be my final Mexican state. And for today, I'm just going to be riding up through the mountains around this massive lake. So about a week ago my front brake cable snapped and I reattached it just here. And then just now I was coming down this very steep hill here and it snapped again and scared the life out of me because I couldn't slow down. No, I'm just gonna fix it again in the same way and hopefully it can last the next 150 miles. In the rain again. At the moment I'm either wet from the rain or if it's not been raining I am wet from the sweat. But either way I'm finishing the day up soaking wet. Unfortunately in this part of Mexico there doesn't seem to be much wild camping available. And even if there was, it wouldn't be much fun right now anyway. But the best thing about staying in towns is definitely the food.
And with a belly full of barbacoa, I set off to ride to one of the most beautiful places I've been on my entire trip.
Well, I've just had a bit of a weird thing happen. I was just driving along this really quiet road here, barely any cars coming past. And then this car came to overtake me and it went straight down the middle of the road, giving me loads of room. And then as soon as it got ahead of me, it kind of slowed down and then just turned right into me. And luckily I managed to brake and avoid it. And then they just drove off. Yeah, it's just really odd. I don't really know what just happened, but I'm slightly shaken up by it. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but either way, I've very, very nearly got hit. strange, really strange. And I was just kind of thinking to myself here about, as I'm approaching the Guatemalan border, I'm now getting towards a slightly more dangerous part of this country. And then immediately after that thought has left my mind, that happens. Really strange.
Well, I haven't actually had any rain today for the first time in a while, but there's a rainbow.
Well, that has immediately cheered me up a bit. I woke up this morning with my legs feeling like jelly, because I've just done a ridiculous amount of elevation gain the last few weeks. But today is my last day before getting to a city called San Cristobal, where I'll have some much needed rest. So just one more big day of riding, but luckily I'm back on the dirt roads and it's a beautiful road through the mountains.
And by chance, I'd arrived in San Cristobal just in time for Dia de los Muertos. I spent a week there eating tons of Mexican food while I still could, and set off to finally say goodbye to Mexico.
As I get nearer to the Guatemalan border here, I'm probably approaching the most dangerous part of Mexico that I've been to. There are cartels that are literally at war with each other over the regions near the border. So for today, I'm just sticking to the highway here. Fortunately for me, they are not too interested in bikepackers, so I should be absolutely fine. Although I have to say, today I've probably seen more army than I've seen in my whole time in Mexico, and I'd be lying if I didn't say that that made me feel a little on edge.
So I spent last night in a hotel in this town called Comitán, and I'm now only about 35 miles from the Guatemalan border, but I'm not going to be crossing today as there's still one more place that I want to visit before I go.
Oh, this is going to be a good day. Wow. Look at that. And there's more than 50 of these. There's another 2 right here. This one's called Esmeralda, which I'm guessing means emerald. Now, apparently you can't swim in these ones, but I fancy a swim, so I'm going to go find one that you can. Well, I could happily spend all day here, but there are still many more lakes to go see today. Well, this is definitely the most beautiful one. Look at this. That is absolutely stunning. Feels more like I'm in Norway than Mexico right now. On my right here is going to be the final lake for the day. This is Lake Zizcal, and it's going to be my home for the night. I really can't imagine a better way to end my time here. Today has just been absolutely fantastic. I'm really excited to start out in a new country tomorrow in Guatemala, but I can't deny the fact that I'm quite sad that my time in Mexico is over. Before I started this trip, I never would have imagined I'd spend 8 months here, but what an amazing 8 months it's been. Oh, hello. Hello. Oh, and it's just got even better. Hey, buddy. all the amazing dogs I've met, all the amazing people I've met, the incredible food, all the beautiful places. I'm going to miss it all, and I'm going to remember this time very, very fondly. I'll see you all next time in Guatemala.
Hey, buddy. Hello.